On my 3rd year as a sugar baby, Julian dumped me. He pulled a crumpled green dollar bill from his pocket. "Here's $1. Take it and go." I pulled out 2 singles and handed them to him. "Can I stay?" Julian took the money and stuffed it into his pocket. "To be honest, I'm bankrupt." I reached out and snatched the cash back. "Give it back, then. I still need bus fare." I walked a few steps before Julian called out from behind, "For old time's sake, let me buy you a breakup meal." We ended up in front of a roasted chestnut stand. The vendor, stirring the wok like a pro, asked, "If they aren't tasty, they're free. How many do you want?" Julian jetted his chin out casually. "Give us 2 pounds of the nasty ones." Afraid the vendor would die of second-hand embarrassment, I handed him the $2, took 2 chestnuts, and gave one to Julian. "Just give me $100 million for a breakup fee. Lots of sugar babies get pregnant after a breakup, and I'm worried I won't have the cash to raise your kid." Julian peeled his chestnut. "My assets are frozen." I stared at him. "Well, unfreeze them." "Julian, stop playing." "Me, you stop playing." When I accepted that single dollar, it meant we were officially over. I packed my bags and left the mansion overnight. I borrowed $9 from my best friend to make an even 10 and bought a lottery ticket. The precursors to good luck are a breakup, poverty, and loneliness. Naturally, I won the $50 million jackpot. A month later, I was cruising past the city square in my Ferrari when I saw Julian at a job fair. I parked and walked over to Snoop. A recruiter was saying, starting salary is $3,000 a month. Eventually goes up to $8,000. Julian stood up. "I'll come back later." He turned around, saw me, and then saw the Ferrari behind me. "How did you suddenly get so rich?" I flashed a smug grin. "Won the lottery." "I guess Temu was right about me being the lucky one." Julian scratched his head. "You have great luck." "I never win anything." I shrugged. "Go buy some rat poison, then you might get lucky and actually die." Julian smiled bitterly and didn't say another word. I don't like showing off, especially in front of an ex-sugar daddy. I turned silently, stomping my diamond-encrusted heels hard to emphasize my financial status. As I pulled the car door open, Julian's voice drifted over, "Can you Venmo me $50? I looked back, confused. "Just 50. Julian pulled a cigarette pack from his pocket. "Life has really humbled me. I'm too soft-hearted." I transferred him $500. He said thanks, and it sounded nice, gave me that satisfying feeling of a philanthropist tossing coins to a beggar. I got in the car to leave, but Julian walked over and tapped on the window. "Jojo, you won't fall for another guy, will you?" I stared straight ahead and rolled my eyes. "For a $1 breakup fee? Take my advice, stop meddling and worry about your unemployment." As soon as the words left my mouth, I floored it and sped away. On the drive, I suddenly felt the urge to vomit. I made a sharp U-turn to the hospital. Sure enough, I couldn't escape the cliché fate of the dumped sugar baby. I was 3 months pregnant. I texted my bestie, Maya, asking for advice on how to tell Julian without losing my composure. Maya replied, "Option 1, run away with the baby. Option 2, dry heave in front of him. Option 3, book an abortion and put down his phone number." I thought of a way to stress Julian out perfectly. I posted a photo of the hospital on my Instagram story, visible only to him. Then I sent the ultrasound photo to our mutual friends, blocking only him. "Maya, go congratulate Julian." On it. 10 minutes later, Julian was blowing up my phone. "Jojo, why are you at the hospital? People are saying you're pregnant. Whose is it?" I took a shower, blew out my hair, and replied leisurely, "Nonsense. I'm not pregnant." Julian replied with palpable relief, "You scared me to death. My childhood sweetheart is coming back from overseas tomorrow." I wouldn't know how to explain it. I tooted at my phone screen. Rich people have childhood sweethearts. Broke guys like you just have girls from the block. Julian, haven't you seen the news? My chances of winning the lawsuit are huge. My billion-dollar assets should be unfrozen next month. My breathing hitched. That's billions we're talking about. Julian, do you believe I'll run away with the baby? Julian seemed confused. I thought you weren't pregnant? To maintain my haughty persona, I blocked him. On the surface, I'm a strong woman, but inside, I'm a total mess. Staring at my 3,000 square foot penthouse, my mind kept drifting back to that stinking man. Julian used to come home from work in his tailored suits, handing me a bouquet of 999 roses. I told him he was tacky. Did the florist only sell one kind of flower? He joked that next time, he'd plant dandelions all over the hills just for me. After we got together, I learned Julian had a childhood sweetheart, the daughter of his family's housekeeper. Later, the girl went abroad with her mom for work, and they lost touch. Julian kept me around with a $3 million monthly allowance and a wall full of Hermes bags. He had good taste. I wasn't just a gold digger, I was lazy, loved luxury, and obsessed with money. A truly material girl. I was worse off than the housekeeper's daughter. I came from dirt poor beginnings. I came from the boonies to the big city and almost got trafficked. I was bad at school because I couldn't handle the grind. I was bad at work because I couldn't stomach the empty promises bosses fed me. Wage slaves don't become billionaires by working hard. Even if you save money, you just get scammed into buying fake supplements when you're old. So, the only shortcut was becoming a rich man's canary. When Julian pushed $3 million in cash toward me, I agreed without hesitation. Stacks of red bills cured my dislike for reading. When I found out about the childhood sweetheart, Cece, I wasn't jealous at all. I had endless cash, endless clothes, endless bags. I even took Julian's virginity. It only lasted 5 seconds, but at least it was clean. What was there to be unhappy about? When Julian went bankrupt, I couldn't even pull out $10. That's when I realized how lavish my life had been, spending whatever I was given, drinking $1,000 wine like water, donating schools on a whim, spending without restraint. Luckily, I hit the $50 million jackpot. Now, I was a pregnant woman with no job and no income, so I hired a professional financial advisor. Once the kid is born, I'll pull a surprise attack on Julian and get my child on the list of heirs. I want my kid to proudly say, "My daddy, daddy, daddy is rich." Days passed. I didn't see Julian, and he didn't come looking for me. Then, leaving my prenatal checkup, I saw Julian pedaling a tricycle to pick up Cece. Driven by jealousy and gossip, I chased them in my Ferrari. They stopped at a buffet. They ordered the most expensive package, a whopping $20 per person. Julian gentlemanly removed the plastic wrap from the utensils for Cece. He went and piled up plates of frozen shrimp, frozen crab, and fruit. This man used to only eat seafood caught that morning and fruit plucked straight from the tree. Wow. His quality of life had tanked. They stayed past the time limit and the manager charged them extra for the soup base. Julian walked out with Cece, looking miserable. I followed them to the mall. Julian took Cece into a store. She looked thrilled and asked the clerk to get down the most expensive bag from the top shelf. Julian agreed without even haggling. As they were leaving, the manager offered a parking validation coupon. Julian refused it without hesitation. I sighed. What kind of loser was I stalking all morning? I turned to leave, but some jerk with no public decency had thrown a banana peel on the road. My heels slipped on it. Just as I was about to wipe out, a large hand caught me. "Jojo, what are you doing here?" I quickly straightened up and smoothed my dress. "Came to see how my ex is doing." "Looks like you're doing okay, I guess." Julian held my hand, looking at me with deep emotion. "It's not what you think. I'll explain later. I'm just laying low right now." I glared at him. "Then why are you out here fooling around?" Julian glanced back at Cece and swallowed his words. I couldn't be bothered with him. I turned to leave but suddenly felt a cramp in my stomach, definitely from the slip. Julian offered to take me to the hospital, but I refused. I don't want to be a drama queen, clinging to an ex after we broke up. Cece walked up and grabbed Julian's arm. She's right. Don't meddle. I shot her a look and drove myself to the hospital. The doctor said there were signs of a potential miscarriage and ordered me to stay for observation. The next day at noon, Julian showed up with a case of milk and a box of canned oatmeal. Jojo, sending you the first care package of autumn. How are you feeling? I curled my lip. This cost less than that buffet, didn't it? Julian sat down and held my hand. It's the thought that counts. Don't be like that. He looked at my stomach, his eyes full of expectation. Are you really carrying my child? I shook his hand off. No. Why are you even here bothering me? Aren't you afraid Cece will get jealous? Julian sighed helplessly. I accidentally threw Cece onto the hard wooden sofa. She's all bruised up. I just dropped her off at the ER and snuck over to see you. I looked at him like he was an idiot. You think you still have those plush European couches at the mansion? Your quality of life is dropping too fast. Julian nodded. Yeah. Assets won't unfreeze until next month. Just gotta survive this rough patch. I accepted the 2 boxes of poverty and waved him away. I need to rest. You can go. Julian hugged me reluctantly. Are you mad? I've really missed you. I pushed him away in disgust. Stop acting like a tragic lover. You knew your assets might unfreeze, yet you rushed to get rid of me with a $1 bill. After I blocked you, did you even try to find me? Julian looked like a kicked puppy. I couldn't get into your high-end gated community. The security guards chased me with batons. In a whole week, you couldn't squat by the gate? It's not like I never go out. He sighed. I have to make money for rent. I'm working like a dog every day. Bark for me then. Julian huffed, stop playing. You stop playing. We parted on bad terms again. I leaned back against the headboard, sipping the milk, and sighed heavily. It was weird. Julian, born with a silver spoon, goes broke, and instead of borrowing money from his bros, he drags his childhood sweetheart into poverty with him. Strange. Eating cheap, dressing cheap, existing cheap. He hadn't even paid me back that $500. I didn't know his financial literacy was this bad. He has Cece, yet keeps claiming he misses me. Definitely a player. I can't let pregnancy hormones mess with my head. I won't be the other woman. After 3 days of observation, the doctor allowed me to discharge. I buckled up and drove home. Passing through a quiet lane, a van suddenly cut me off. Several men in black jumped out, kidnapped me, and when they pulled the black bag off my head, I found myself in an empty warehouse. The kidnapper shoved a knife in my face. Money or your life? My breathing quickened. Money. I already have a life. The kidnapper shouted, don't play games. I know you have a very rich boyfriend. Tell him to bring a few million for ransom. I looked gloomy. He dumped me for his childhood sweetheart. He won't come to save me. The kidnapper scratched his head. Men always think about their exes. I'll help you test him. He grabbed my phone, found the contact saved as 6 feet 1 inch ATM, and dialed. Hey, you Julian Ford? Jojo has been kidnapped. Bring me 99 million in ransom. Not a penny more, not a penny less. The person on the other end paused. Julian's voice came through, panicked. Wait. I'm coming right now. Hearing Julian was coming with the ransom moved me to tears. Even though he dumped me, the feelings were there. Those 3 years of sleeping together weren't for nothing. Half an hour later, Julian walked in, dressed in a suit but empty-handed. Let the girl go. Whatever you want, come at me. The kidnapper looked confused. Where's the 99 million? Julian dusted off his suit. Wherever I go, I am the walking 99 million. I watched Julian getting tied up next to me and rolled my eyes. Are you sick in the head? Julian explained to me, assets don't unfreeze until next month. They kidnapped you too early. I had the money, but I didn't have any family to bring it to me. The kidnapper pulled the phone out of Julian's pocket. Who is babe? Julian glanced at me. My Jojo. The kidnapper smirked. Men know men. Told you he couldn't forget his ex. Who do I call for the money? Speak up. Julian gestured with his chin. Find the company group chat. Call the guy named Team Lead via voice call. The call connected. Julian rushed to speak. Boss, I've been kidnapped. Please tell the owner so they don't dock my perfect attendance bonus. The boss yelled back, so you're missing today's meeting? Can't you give advance notice if you're getting kidnapped? If you can't manage your own safety, how can you manage a job? The kidnapper heard the screaming and hung up. Disgusting, just like my old boss. Pa. He scrolled through the contacts. Who is Red Plum? Julian answered, my childhood friend. And current girlfriend. The kidnapper called Cece and told her to bring the money. An hour later, Cece arrived dragging 2 suitcases. Here is 9.99 million. Let Julian go. The kidnapper untied me and Julian and shoved us toward the door. You two got lucky. As the 3 of us were leaving, the kidnappers behind us opened the suitcases. Spirit money? You dare scam me? Julian stared blankly at Cece. You've been abroad for years and didn't earn any dollars? Cece rushed to explain. The bank would investigate if I withdrew that much real cash. I could only buy prop money. I was speechless. Why are we standing here chatting? Run. We made it about 12 feet before we were dragged back. The furious kidnapper stabbed Cece. Blood flowed from her chest. Julian cried and hugged Cece. Don't scare me. I comforted him. It's fine. Her heart was probably in her throat anyway. Julian sobbed, looking at me with resentment. You're making jokes at a time like this? I huffed and turned my back. You stop playing. Just then, a swarm of police rushed in. Turns out Cece had called the cops beforehand. The 3 of us ended up at the hospital for checkups. The doctor said my baby was tough, had the constitution of an emperor. That was a relief. I walked to the operating room door and heard the doctor tell Julian, this surgery has a 20% success rate. I chimed in, then do it 5 times. Julian looked at me like I was insane. Success rates. Do you multiply them or add them? The doctor stayed calm and just said as he left, I'll go find 4 more doctors to help. 2 hours later, the doctor came out. Surgery was a success. There really is strength in numbers. Julian wept with gratitude. Thank you, doctor. I'll treat you all to pork knuckle rice next time. After sending the doctor off, I stared intently at Julian and asked the question weighing on my heart. Julian, do you really love Cece? You don't care about your own child at all? Julian furrowed his brow. I asked you whose child it was, and you wouldn't say. I didn't say, but you should have guessed. He walked over and gripped my arm. Asking you one more time. Is the baby in your belly mine? No. He spun around, burying his face in his hands. Good grief. I'm done asking. I was disappointed in this man. Every time he said he missed me, yet he couldn't even guess my thoughts. He was just after my body. After all, to be a sugar baby, you can't exactly be ugly. I turned to leave, but Julian called out, want to have an affair? I looked at him with disdain. Please don't insult my noble character. Julian put his hands on his hips, exasperated. You secretly went to work for me, and I silently remembered that kindness. Because I wanted to take care of Cece personally. I looked the idiot up and down. Pay me my wages first. See, he went silent again. After the kidnapping, I stayed home, talking to my belly and complaining at soap operas. Then, Maya texted asking me to go to a bar. I'm a good girl, I never go to places like that, and I can't drink while pregnant. Maya insisted, they have juice. It's so lonely at home, come out and have some fun. I couldn't resist the temptation and followed my bestie to the bar. Maya was busy picking up guys, so I ordered a drink at the counter. Can I get a decaf latte, please? Suddenly, someone sat on the stool next to me. Can I get a glass of warm milk? I glanced sideways. Julian. What are you doing here causing trouble? So annoying. I see him everywhere. Julian looked concerned. Coffee while pregnant? Aren't you worried about the baby? I forced a smile. The doctor says the kid is built like a tank. Only the strong deserve to be my child. The bartender, watching us bicker, slowly said, second drink is half price. Interested? Julian smiled and held up 2 fingers. I'll take the second one. I ended up paying for the first one. Stirring my latte, I said, a diamond bachelor like you being this cheap. Back when you gave me millions a month, you didn't even blink. Julian sipped his milk, looking at me with soulful eyes. Poor people have their own ways of living. You don't plan on making me your sugar baby? Looking at Julian, bone structure perfect, aura outstanding, for a moment, it felt like 3 years ago. When he gently asked if I wanted to be his lover. He was so handsome and rich it was hard not to be moved. Truth be told, I loved him long ago. Leaving hurt, but I had no choice. Julian already had his childhood sweetheart, yet asked such a stupid question. Laughable. I didn't reply, letting him be the clown. Just then, a heavy hand landed on Julian's shoulder. Are you an idiot? I sent you here to network with clients, and you're hitting on girls? Julian looked apologetic. Sorry, boss. Going now. The boss kept a stern face, voice deep. You're fired. Julian smiled. I'll take the spicy chicken, extra green onions. Thanks. The boss leaned back in shock, pointing. I was just trying to scare you. You're playing me? Damn it, you haven't closed a single deal in half a month, yet you dress like a model. You think you're some fallen prince? Julian calmly adjusted his tie. Starting next week, you'll be bowing to me. The boss sneered, looking at him like he was mental. Hope to see you in the psych ward. Maya grabbed my arm. Oh my God, is that the Julian Ford who bought you a wall of Louis Vuitton bags? Why is he selling insurance? Is he experiencing life for fun? Or is this some air test? I looked at Julian and answered Maya. He went bankrupt last month. He's selling insurance to support his childhood sweetheart. But he says he'll bounce back next week. Maya looked wise. The ups and downs of the rich. I don't get it. Maya's parents died when she was young. She has a brother, an associate's degree, was unemployed upon graduation, and now shakes bubble tea for a living. I don't want my bestie to have financial stress, so I often help her out. Maya is just like me, willful when she has money, can't save a dime. I paid for Maya's drinks and the gigolo's fee. She kissed me on the cheek. Shared fortune, shared hardships. Wanna have some fun together? I waved her off. I only accept money from others. Maya dragged a 6-foot-tall guy with abs upstairs to get a room. I grabbed my handbag and left quickly. A woman as beautiful as me attracts crime too easily. I didn't go out much, doing yoga daily in my penthouse to avoid gaining too much pregnancy weight. I didn't want to run into Julian or any other men. They could all get lost. Suddenly, the phone on the coffee table rang. I picked up. Jojo, this number is yours. You're still saved as Babe in his phone. I was confused. Wait, I haven't even said anything. Open the door. Knocking sounded at the door. I went to open it. Cece walked in without taking off her shoes, sizing up the luxury condo and furniture. You really are rich. I scratched my chin. Want me to burn some money for you? Cece gritted her teeth. You can't hide loving someone. Julian is still obsessed with you. I stifled a laugh and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. You only need to hide it if you like two people. Maybe he likes you too. Have some confidence. Cece pushed my hand away, furious. I came to fight, and you're doing stand-up comedy. Do you know we just had a huge fight? He stormed out. I spread my hands helplessly. So you didn't storm out after him? You came here to throw a tantrum instead? Maybe rendered speechless by my logic, Cece glared at me and sat on the sofa. She started eyeing the fruit, peeling several fake grapes and stuffing them in her mouth. I tooted. Last time you ate fruit was at the buffet? Julian is that cheap with you? You came back at the wrong time, girl. Cece immediately defended him. He's just broke right now. Next week he'll rise again and give me endless glory and wealth. You're carrying his child just to get in on that, aren't you? How much money to abort it? I immediately called Julian. Julian, your little bad seed is offering me money to abort the baby. The voice on the other end said, send me the address. I'm coming. 30 minutes later, Julian arrived, out of breath, holding on to the doorframe. Unfazed by the awkwardness, I said directly, Cece says you love me. She's jealous. Julian smiled, a mix of charm, helplessness, and confusion. What a little glutton. Since he wouldn't come in, Cece got angry. You avoid me, but you've PS at a cat? Is this funny to you? Julian explained, I'm afraid of dirtying the floor. Jojo has been a germaphobe since we were together. Cece, who had been glued to the sofa, walked to the door, crying and accusing him. We've been together almost a month. Have you considered me the way you consider Jojo? You throw socks everywhere, you don't shower, you give me the silent treatment, you ignore my needs. Julian, your ability to make a comeback now relies entirely on my connections. Julian looked complicated. I'm not good at loving people. Let's just end it. Cece's attitude did a 180. Babe, life is bitter, but you are sweet. I won't leave you. Julian expressionlessly dragged Cece away. At the entryway, he looked back at me. Wait 1 week. I'll give you and the baby an answer. I nodded and sighed. Fine, fine. Just bring a few billion over, that'll do. Julian didn't speak again, just looked deeply at me and my belly before walking away. Money is good. Without money, you're nothing. Otherwise, you end up like Cece accepting such a slob of a man. The thought drives me crazy. I was begging the universe, I just wanted to stay home and incubate in peace. No rivals, no kidnappings, no drama. A week later, Julian reclaiming his entire fortune made the news. I rubbed my belly. Baby, you better fight to inherit all of Daddy's money. Buy Mommy a jet and a vineyard. Your silence is your consent. Interrupting our bonding time, someone knocked on the door. No social awareness. I opened it. Julian was muttering to himself, ugly woman, stupid woman, dead woman, smelly woman, dumb woman, silly woman, daft woman. He said it all in one breath, lips dry and cracked. Seeming thirsty, and allergic to alcohol, he crushed a beer can and threw it on the ground. I was baffled. Are you sick? Why are you acting crazy at my door? Julian consciously put on guest slippers. Cece annoyed me to death. I want to be with you. I snorted like a bull. Julian, am I just your rebound? Julian denied it. In this life, I have only loved you. Fighting with Cece wasn't about love. Saying that, he tried to open the fridge for a drink. He couldn't open it. He grabbed me for Face ID, opening the first door. Then used my fingerprint to unlock the second door. Then used a pattern lock for the third door. Then used a toothpick to unlock the final door. Julian took out AD calcium milk, yogurt drinks, protein shakes, drank them all. He burped, looking at me confused. You need this many locks for drinks? I looked at him like he was an idiot. I'm afraid I'll steal my own drinks while pregnant. What about it? Julian said something that choked me up. You know all the passwords. It's redundant. Thinking about it, yeah. But aside from when I put them in, I genuinely forget the passwords otherwise. Sigh. Pregnancy brain lasts 3 years. Julian pulled a bank card from his pocket. Password is your birthday minus 25 days, plus 7 days, divided by 2. Are you sick? I'm bad at math. I took it, linked it to the app, and somehow entered the password correctly. Holy crap. I haven't seen this many zeros since I went to the zoo. Julian held me and kissed me a few times. Babe, do you like money? Before I could react, his hands started wandering. I jolted, grabbed him, and then he jolted. Julian, we've only been apart a month, and you've gotten kinky. Julian gave a devilish smile, flicking my nose. Kinky? If you're number 1, I only dare to be number 2. I pushed him away, feigning anger. Humph. Did Cece enjoy this? Julian looked at me with amusement. Cece? She thought you broke me, so she never touched me. I steeled my heart and held on tight. All right. You live together and you're that bold? Julian curled up in agony. I can explain. He started from the beginning. The Ford Group faced a financial crisis, a traitor in the company, assets frozen. Julian wanted help from big shots abroad, but they wouldn't meet him. Cece had saved his life once, so Julian just used her. The corner of my mouth ticked up. I pinned Julian to the sofa and started gnawing on him. It's been over a month. I was starving. Later, news of my pregnancy somehow reached Julian's mother's ears. She summoned me to the Ford family mansion. As soon as I entered, I saw Cece and Mrs. Ford sitting on the sofa. Mrs. Ford got straight to the point. I know you both like my son, but there can only be one daughter-in-law. Cece has done us a favor. Jojo carries our bloodline. Here is a test. I'll give $100 and $10 as capital. Whoever wins a prize is the daughter-in-law. Mrs. Ford placed a $100 bill and a $10 bill on the table simultaneously. Cece immediately grabbed the 100. I was left with the 10. Mrs. Ford gave us an hour. As soon as we walked out, Cece bragged. $100 can buy 10 high-stake scratchers. $10 can only buy one cheap one. You will definitely lose. I crossed my arms, matching her energy. Don't forget, I won $50 million off a single lottery ticket. I've got a bit of luck on me. Cece huffed. You used up all your luck last time. After we parted ways, I rubbed my belly and muttered. Baby, I have to get you registered in this family. The very rich kind. She has 10 chances. I don't necessarily have only one. I went to the store and saw Cece buying 10 expensive scratch-off tickets. She asked, why aren't you buying? I shook the plastic bag in my hand. Already did. I won't forget the look she gave me, like I was mental. We returned to the mansion to reveal the results in front of Mrs. Ford. Honestly, I was panicking. I had only bought a bottle of iced tea. Cece scratched and didn't win a cent. Not even $10 back. I thought I was dead meat. Best case scenario was a tie. She had one ticket left. I had one bottle of tea. Cece clasped her hands. Bless me, bless me. She scratched it. Nothing. 10 tickets, not a single winner. Born with zero lottery luck. I chanted silently, money come, God bless the gold and silver. I twisted the cap off my tea. Under the cap were 2 words, free bottle. Mrs. Ford, I did it. Mrs. Ford applauded warmly and said, actually, there were 3 tests. The first was character, whoever took the 100 first is selfish. The second was wisdom, Jojo managed to buy a chance with $10, very smart. The third was luck, obviously, Jojo won. She cleared her throat. Congratulations, Jojo. You are our daughter-in-law. I teared up with excitement, stood up, and bowed. Thank you, everyone. I nudged Cece. Don't look so sour. Blame your own bad luck. Hurry up and congratulate me. Cece ran out in a rage. The deal was sealed. Julian publicly announced me as his future wife, and the wedding date was set. Just my luck, I messed up. Middle of the night, after carefully doing the deed, I saw Julian on the balcony smoking and looking at his phone. His expression betrayed him, he looked heartbroken over Cece. They grew up together. He used her and dumped her, he must feel guilty. I went over to comfort him, but then saw what he was looking at. My phone. Thinking fast, I pointed at his feet. Rat. Julian looked down. The rat is over there. Ah. I jumped and clamped onto him. I glanced at the screen. Julian was reading my browser history. The kind of history you must delete even if you're in a coma from a car crash. You can't die while you're still alive. I reached out to snatch it back, but he moved it away. What are you afraid of? Something shameful? He read my search history aloud, publicly executing me. Will a man who cheats explode on the spot? What percentage of assets can an illegitimate child inherit? Do idiots know they are idiots? How does a mosquito spend its day? Men become useless after 25 is scaring them into submission enough? Hearing these, my scalp tingled with embarrassment, my toes curling. Then, Julian opened my reading app. The Billionaire and the Tigress, Forced Love. If I had a brain for 3 days. Quintuplets, I became the crazy grandpa's favorite. Julian pinched my cheek, exasperated yet amused. Jojo, you are not a normal person. He paused. But, I like it. I let out a breath. Almost ruined mine and the baby's future. I held out my hand. Let me see your phone. Julian suddenly pointed at my chest. Whoa, you crushed a cockroach in your cleavage. Ah. I screamed, frantically checking my clothes. He had already sprinted to the bed and played dead. Damn him. Just watch how I spend his money later. Maybe I'll pull his plug. A month later, 5 months pregnant, I married Julian in the wedding of the century. He lifted my veil and kissed me until I almost suffocated. In front of everyone and the priest, he cried, Wifey, from now on I won't just joke with you, I'll build a happy family with you and live together forever. I held my bouquet to hide my laugh. Hubby, only 2 people with the same brain cell could meet and fall in love. I'm so happy to be with you. Another passionate kiss, letting everyone witness our happiness. I was lucky twice. Once meeting him, and once walking to the end with him. The world loves the facade shown after weighing pros and cons, but no one loves your unguarded, sincere heart. Love cannot be replaced by money, but it cannot exist without money. Love is complex, and it is precious.